The Silence Between Thunder Location, Stone Hollow, Tennessee. The town of Stone Hollow hadn't changed much since 1965, though the calendar now read 2025. A place of winding roads, overgrown oaks, and porch chairs older than the people sitting in them. On the edge of town stood an old farmhouse, newly painted but battle-worn in spirit. That was where Staff Sergeant Malcolm Ray had returned, after 4 tours in Iraq and Afghanistan, to finally lay down his weapon and raise his children in peace. Malcolm was 38, built like a concrete wall, with a voice as calm as a funeral hymn. He had a wife, Leah, and 2 kids, Darius, 10, who wore Malcolm's old dog tags for luck, and Ava, 7, who thought her father was bulletproof. But peace has a way of drawing fire in places like Stone Hollow. On a hot July evening, as the sun bled orange across the fields, Malcolm was fixing the front fence when a pickup truck rolled by slow. 3 teenage boys inside, white, local, all high school seniors, shouted a slur and laughed as they sped off. Malcolm didn't flinch. Not then. But the next night, a brick smashed through his living room window. Attached was a note scrawled in red marker. Wrong family, wrong town. Malcolm filed a police report. Nothing came of it. The sheriff was the uncle of one of those boys. Small town justice. Then came the night Malcolm stopped being just a father and became a protector once again. The break-in. It was past midnight. Leah had gone to bed early with a migraine. Malcolm sat cleaning his old M4 carbine at the kitchen table, not because he needed to, but because habit dies harder than enemies. That's when the sound came. Not a knock, a shuffle. Then the back window shattered. Malcolm was up in an instant, not thinking, reacting, like he had on the battlefield. He told Leah to stay upstairs with the kids, handed her the Glock he kept in the drawer, and moved like a ghost into the darkness. 3 shadows crept through the hallway, hooded, young, and laughing like this was some kind of dare. Malcolm stepped forward, calm but unrelenting. "Leave my house, now." They turned. The tallest boy laughed until Malcolm raised the rifle, not pointing it, but cradling it across his chest like a soldier ready for inspection. They froze. Malcolm's voice, low and deadly. "You boys know what this is? You ever see what happens when someone pulls this trigger in a room this small?" The kids had expected a sleepy black man with a phone, maybe a shout. They got a man trained to clear bunkers and cities under fire. One of them, probably the ringleader, started crying. The youngest dropped his pocket knife and begged, "Please, we didn't mean nothing. It was just a joke." Malcolm's eyes never blinked. It's only a joke till someone doesn't come home to their family. They backed out, tripping over each other, tears mixing with sweat and shame. The aftermath. The sheriff showed up the next day, forced by public outcry. Leah had already uploaded the security footage online. By morning, it had gone viral. Millions watched a black veteran defend his home with the discipline of a soldier and the heart of a father. Some called him a hero, others called him a threat, the usual divide. But Stone Hollow changed. The parents of the boys came to apologize. Not with press, not with lawyers, just broken people, realizing that hate didn't end with the civil rights movement. It hid, sometimes in their homes. Malcolm didn't press charges. He did something worse. He invited the boys back weeks later to help rebuild the fence they'd broken and to listen. He told them stories, not about war, but about the men he'd fought beside. A Somali corporal who saved his life, a Muslim medic who died praying over an injured Marine, and how race never mattered under fire. They cried again, not from fear this time, but realization. Epilogue. Today, if you drive through Stone Hollow, you'll see a sign near the schoolyard, home of Staff Sergeant Malcolm Ray, soldier, father, neighbor. Kids play there safely now. And sometimes, 3 young men, now grown, sit on Malcolm's porch, learning how to become better men. Because sometimes the strongest weapon isn't a rifle, it's a story.